Hey, I'm Alex, and this is Big Bang Tech. So I was scrolling through Facebook Marketplace, and I found a beefy Dell server for just $50. Absolute steal or total disaster? Well, let's find out. This is the Dell PowerEdge T610. This thing is packing two Xeon E5520 quad-core processors screaming at 2.26 GHz, giving us 8 cores and 16 threads. It's rocking 96 gigs of DDR3 RAM with room to max out at 192 gigs. It's also got a PERC 6i hardware RAID controller with 256 megs of battery back cache. And for networking, well, just two embedded 100 megabit Ethernet ports. Yeah, that was fine in 2009, but in 2024, not so much. We're definitely fixing that in a future video. But for $50, this is still a solid foundation for a budget VMware server. Today, I'll show you how to install VMware 6.5 and spin up your first virtual machine. And in future videos, we'll push this thing even further, because why not? This video is brought to you by PCBWay. Just kidding, I wish. Alright, let's get into it. First, you'll need to download the install ISO for VMware Hypervisor version 6.5 and copy it to a USB stick using Rufus. After Rufus completes, eject the USB stick and plug it into the front USB port of your server. Turn on or reset the server and press F11 during the Dell BIOS screen to get the boot manager. Choose the front USB stick as the boot drive. Connect at least an empty 8 gig or larger USB stick to the internal USB port and close the side cover. Press enter to continue. Accept the license. We're going to choose the 8 gig drive that we have connected to the USB. This drive already had a version of VMware on it. We're just going to reinstall it completely. Choose a password. This is just a warning that tells you this CPU may not be supported in future versions of VMware, but there are ways to get around that. I'll put that in another video. Hit F11 to install. Okay, let's remove the install USB and reboot. Once again, press F11 during the Dell screen to choose your boot device. Okay, so let's pick the internal USB stick and we're going to boot off of that. If you want to make the boot choice permanent, you'll have to go into the BIOS settings by pressing F2 during the Dell screen. Okay, we're going to hit F2 to change some settings. Enter your password. Hit F2 again. Okay, first thing we're going to take care of are the network settings. Oops. Gonna make sure that we use DHCP, or you can set a static IP address, it's up to you. I'm going to set a static DNS server and change the host name. Hit escape. Apply the changes. Okay, let's try and log in through the web server. Don't worry about this error, it's a local computer. Now you can take a look around the host admin. I believe this is a 60-day evaluation if you don't enter a license key. Before we can create our first virtual machine, we have to configure a data store. We're only going to use half the disk. Hit refresh. Next, we're going to want to upload an ISO file for Windows so that VMware can access it. Create an ISO folder. And upload your file. Now we can create our first virtual machine. Choose Windows as the OS family and Server 2016 64-bit as the guest OS version. We'll choose our data store since there's only one. Under the hard disk options, choose thin provisioned. This way you can create a bigger hard drive but not allocate the full hard drive space for the virtual machine until it is actually needed. Next, under CD options, choose the data store file that you just uploaded. Click Next. Finish. Now you can just click on your new virtual machine. Power on. And click on Console to view the machine. Let's just use the default settings. Okay, let's put a password in. You can always access your virtual machine through the VMware host administration page or through a remote desktop or VNC after configuring it for remote access. Next, you'll want to install VMware tools. These software tools allow you to gracefully shut down and reboot your virtual machine remotely. Click on the Action menu, go to Guest OS, and click Install VMware Tools. Open the DVD drive that appears on your desktop. And just double-click Setup. Restart your computer to effect the changes. Let's log in and try restarting the operating system remotely. You can shut down, you can restart. Let's try shutting down the operating system. There you go. Operating system is shutting down. Power back up. Alright, that's it for today. We got VMware 6.5 installed and spun up our first virtual machine, but we're just getting started. This was the Dell PowerEdge T610, a $50 server that still has some life in it. In future videos we'll be fixing the ancient networking, maxing out the RAM, and maybe even slapping in some SSDs to bring this thing into the modern age. And because I like to push my luck, we might try running Proxmox, turning this into a proper Homelab, or even seeing if this thing can handle Windows 11. But what do you want to see? Got a crazy idea for this server? Drop a comment below and let me know. If you like this video, hit that like button. And if you want to see what happens next, subscribe and ring that bell. I'm Alex, this is Big Bang Tech, and I'll see you in the next one.